Welcome to On This Day from the Anfield Wrap, where me, Dan Austin, and him, Josh Sexton, are about to have a big Philippe Coutinho chat, because 6 years ago today, he made his Liverpool debut at Anfield in a 2-0 defeat to West Bromwich Albion, which I don't know about you, but I've completely erased from my memory.
Absolutely, yeah. I can't believe it's 6 years ago as well. That's absolutely wild.
Just in case you're interested, he made his debut alongside the likes of Jose Enrique, John Joe Shelby, Stuart Downing, Andre Wisdom on the bench.
Yeah,
So he really got
Brad Jones on the bench, Fabio Barini on the bench.
I mean, imagine turning up to that
and using
thinking, what have I done?
Fucking hell, imagine.
But I mean, there's still a lot to talk about him to this day, because first of all, it's not that long ago that he left. He was still here halfway through last season. It's pretty much a year since he moved to Barcelona. But also there's the fact that it's not gone entirely well for him at Barcelona. There's talk about him maybe leaving there. People talk about whether they'd want him back, that kind of thing. First of all, what's your favourite Coutinho memory, goal, moment, whatever?
We sort of had a little bit of discussion about this before we started recording, didn't we? And mine, by no means his best goal, but it's always going to be my favourite one. Was in the Europa League away at Old Trafford. Was at the quarter-final stage. Yeah, it's just the way that he takes on Varela, I think it is, the defender for United at the time.
I don't even know who that is.
Honestly, the only reason I remember him is just because of that goal, and then he goes around and chips De Gea the way he does, and he runs down the side like by where all the fans are.
And he puts his finger on his lips.
And it was just absolutely like pandemonium in our end, and it was just before half-time as well, so for like the whole 15 minutes of half-time, everyone was just like losing their heads and singing the ole, ole. Like, it absolutely went off, so I reckon that's mine.
I think the best goal, like technically the best goal that I think he scored for Liverpool, was the free kick against Arsenal on the first day of the season in 2016-17.
Yeah.
Partly because that goal is incredible, like the technique to hit it from that distance with that placement beyond Petr Cech is superb, but also because it's the first game of Klopp's first full season, isn't it? First league game. And it really felt like we've got a load of special footballers here and a really, really good team. And that was like the marker of it when that goal goes in, because it's a mad game of football afterwards, and Mane scores a brilliant one. But that moment there was like, we're really good now. And
he probably hadn't done like many dead ball goals at that point, had he? Like he'd sort of done some ones where he runs past a few and absolutely twatted it in the top corner, but he hadn't really done many free kicks to that point. So I think that was probably the start of him becoming sort of having more facets to his game. It wasn't just that he could hit it really hard from distance. He could hit it really hard from a standing start as well.
We mentioned it's not really gone entirely well for him at Barcelona. He's still playing the majority of the games and stuff. I don't imagine that they end up selling him anytime soon, partly because you just don't write a 140 million euro player off that quickly. And they've also got to replace a lot of much older players than him, so I imagine he stays there for a while. But if the opportunity were to arise again, if he was available for sale, do you think that Liverpool should be in that chat?
There's sort of two sort of strands to this, really. I'm not sure if Liverpool should as such be in that chat. I think that Jurgen Klopp is someone who's spoken in the past about I think he sees himself working with a player as a bit of a process, and I think with Coutinho he probably thought it was at the end of that process, similar to what he said about Aubameyang when there was chat about him potentially coming to Liverpool. So I don't think Liverpool would need to be in that conversation as such. But I think if it was just a case of, would you have Coutinho back, then yeah, absolutely, yeah, I would. I think when he first left, I'd persuaded myself that I probably wouldn't, and I persuaded myself that Liverpool were better off without him because you know, when we had the likes of Burnley away in 17-18, was it? Or no, 16-17 actually, where he was just twatting them from everywhere, and it was getting us absolutely nowhere, and he wasn't trying to build any of the moves. I think that was the sort of the bad side of Coutinho that I'd had in my head when he left. But then I watched some of his highlight reel back, must have been a couple of months ago now. And some of the things he does with the football,
he's got a footy, really.
Just absolutely unreal. You know, like he just seemed to like glide past defenders, and his little like jinx, the way he just like move back and forth and just completely like separate defences. And obviously the goals he scored, as we've talked about some of them there. I think I'd have him back in a heartbeat. To be honest, how about you?
I wouldn't, and it's not because of the whole moral aspect, like, oh, he shit on us, he refused to play, whatever. I don't really care about that.
It's a business, isn't it?
Yeah, if he was coming back and he was going to play for Liverpool again, then that wouldn't really affect me. I wouldn't have him back because I'm not sure he'd help this Liverpool team right now. The way we play, we move forward so quickly. I don't think we've necessarily got the space for someone that wants to hold onto the football for quite a while, work some space, play a through ball. I think our midfield is about getting it forward to the three front players as quickly as possible, and I wouldn't pick him ahead of any of those three front players either. So I don't think from a tactical point of view he really suits us that much anymore. If we were to be able to have him back, I think there's lots of talk about Klopp never really buying into him as his kind of footballer anyway. Obviously he was brilliant, so we had to use him, but he never quite settled on him as a left winger or as like a 10 either. He just kind of put him wherever there was space, I think, at times. I don't think the way we play football is suited to him. I think he might be perfect for Barcelona in the long run. By the time that Rakitic has left, Messi's a lot older and maybe playing deeper. I think he can be perfect there, where you've got a lot of the football. You're not playing on the break, you're not playing quickly. But I just don't think that for us he'd work anymore.
It's interesting you mentioned about the holding on to the ball thing. It's something that I've sort of noticed in Naby Keita recently that I wasn't really sure how much of it he'd do. He seems to sort of, I don't know if you want to call it dwelling because he is making movements with it, but I think he's got that sort of similar style to Coutinho in terms of the way he carries the ball. I think I expected him to be more of like a more of a runner off the ball as well, which he's probably not done so much so far because he's probably not settled in it as well as we'd have hoped. So I think if you were looking back at, say, the last couple of games where Naby Keita has started in that midfield and said, would you drop Coutinho into there instead of him? Absolutely, I would. I guess that's just opinions really, isn't it?
Yeah, but then if we're looking at the squad game as well, there's sort of Shaqiri that plays a similar role now in the sense that we didn't think he'd do that at the beginning. I think we all viewed him as very much a forward and a wide player. But he's played as that 10 quite a bit, and I think he's more direct than Coutinho. I'm not saying he's a better player than Coutinho because he isn't. No. But I think there's an argument that in the role that he's in, where he comes off the bench a lot, and he's very forthright, and he's very much looking to play the ball quickly, looking to shoot quickly. I think he possibly suits us better than what Coutinho does.
I think once Oxlade-Chamberlain comes back, I'll probably change my mind on it slightly, because I think his sort of transition into the Liverpool team helped me get over Coutinho almost, because he was a different type of player, but he brought something a bit more exciting to what this team needed than probably Coutinho did. So I think once he's back, I'll probably change my mind slightly.
Well, that's it from us on Coutinho, but let us know in the comments below if you'd have him back first of all, and secondly what your favourite memorial goal from him was. Thanks very much to Josh, thanks from me. Have a look for the next On This Day. All the best.